Hello everyone, it's Duckfaden07. Today I'm playing Temur Assault Loam, bro. And I can say this is one of the best Assault Loam lists I have ever played. And I have played a lot of them. This archetype has been on my channel since the beginning of the channel. And yeah, in the meantime, the deck got some sweet upgrades like Inti. This card is like it's been printed for exactly this deck. The interaction between Seismic Assault is amazing, but also with Boseiju's, Forgotten Caves, Otawara's, Sokenzan, all of these cards discard the card, or Seismic Assault discards a land, triggers Inti, and that's basically all you do in this deck. You just cycle lands and discard them. So Inti gets triggered a lot, and it's really good in this deck. Okay, so except for that, we got one-off Magmatic Insight. This card is often played in Assault Loam decks. You discard a land to draw 2 cards for 1 mana. It's very efficient and it's nice. Sometimes when you get to Wrenn ulti, you get these 5 cards as your payoffs for that effect. And these 5 cards are really the best ones you can get for if you ever get to the Wrenn and Six ulti. Okay, so other than that, we got Delighted Halfling and Ragavan as my one-offs. Halfling helps in this deck a lot because, as you can see, I play Ragavan, which is legendary. I play Wrenn and Six, Inti, Slogurk, One Ring, and all of these cards let you play them uncounterable, which is very big deal. Unfortunately, Halfling doesn't let you cast the Seismic Assault on turn 2, but I find that is not a big deal, because I usually want to cast my other cards before the Seismic Assault. Like if you have like Wrenn and Six or Inti or Ragavan, you will mostly want to play all these cards, or Slogurk. You always want to play Slogurk before Seismic Assault. So that wasn't a big issue so far, and the Halfling making all these other spells uncounterable has really been very effective and a big deal. Okay, so that is the reason why I have Halfling instead of some other dorks. So for the longest time I played this deck with 2 life from the Loams, but I switched to 3, and I can say it's been really better. I feel much better playing 3 Loams in a list like this, if I can afford to play it, of course, if I have room. And Slogurk has really gone up in value in this deck with the addition of the One Ring and Inti. So there's just so much more, you draw so much more lands with One Ring, and that makes Seismic Assault that better, because you draw a bunch of cards, and among these cards most of them will be lands, since we are playing 25 lands. And you will not need, in most times you will not need life gain to survive under the One Ring, as you will plan to kill your opponent instead, because of you will get much cards, and usually in a large percent of situations you are able to find a way out to kill your opponent and end the game before you die to the One Ring damage yourself or something like that. Okay, so that's it. Also, with addition of blue color in this archetype, I gain access to these 4 cards on the sideboard, and I think these 4 cards are really relevant at the moment, really important, really good. And yeah, that's also another reason to include a Slogurk and put blue in this deck. Yeah, these cards have been really effective. In addition to 2 Chalice of the Voids, this is pretty good tool to fight those Cascade decks. Okay, so I also am building at the moment and preparing video for the Jund Assault Loam brew, which is also doing great. And obviously cards like Bowmasters and Sheldred are good into specific meta, and I feel like Temur, a lot of people have been asking me this, I feel like Temur is overall slightly better, slightly more powerful, but because of these availability of these 4 cards on the sideboard, and because Slogurk is like a really nice threat in this build, it gets really huge. You will see in the gameplay, it's always like attacking for 6 in its first attack. You get to do ability very easily, do the life from the Loam ability, put lands into your hand, and sometimes even combo kill your opponent with Seismic Assault on turn 4. Yeah, that has been happening definitely. Okay, so in the Jund version, I'm playing Bowmasters, Sheldred, and obviously these cards are good into specific metagames. They're not that great into Cascade decks, which are top of the meta right now, but definitely they're good against other percent of meta field at the moment, and yeah, both are performing very good for me. And you will see that other videos soon too. Okay, so that's it, and let's go check out the gameplay. As I said, I did a 5-0 league with this build in my first try. We are going to watch that. Okay, so playing second, keeping mediocre hand, nothing special here. But it's not that bad. I have a turn 2 play. I have Slogurk plus Seismic Assault. This sometimes has potential to turn out to be pretty good. Okay, I decided to I opted to go for a fetch on last turn, because now I have 2 lands in a graveyard. If I drew into the third one, I will have 3 now. So this means even if my opponent kills my Slogurk, I get lands back, and I have Seismic Assault on the field, so that's pretty good. Okay, so here I was playing against Rhinos. Opponent had pretty bad hand in game 1. And yeah, so since they didn't cast double Rhinos by now, I was pretty comfortable here. So even if they go for Rhinos here, I have 2 lands in my hand, which means they can kill Slogurk, and Slogurk is really threatening to finish them off next game. Okay, so here it is. Opponent has Rhinos on suspend, and they finally find Charles' Cascade spell to cast those Rhinos, but it's too late now. As you will see, I have lethal damage this turn, even if my opponent blocks everything. So here it is. Opponent double blocks the Slogurk. I kill one of the Rhinos, so I trample over the second Rhino for 3 damage. And deal 6 damage with deal 2 more damage with Seismic Assault. Then after combat, Slogurk returns 3 more lands to my hand for exactly lethal, and that is the game 1. Okay, so let's check out game 2. Okay, so here it is. My plan against Rhinos is remove all the bolts, trim 1 Inti, and remove 1 Magmatic Insight. Magmatic Insight, I think it's not great in against a tempo deck like this. You don't want to durdle in the beginning. You want to play effective spells like play Ragavan, hold interaction like Flusterstorm. Also, I had access to Chalice of the Void here, and yeah, Ragavan is often connecting against Rhinos. So you will be able to get your turn. You'll get to ramp into turn into 3 mana spell. Also, I'm holding a subtlety here in case they try to counter my Slogurk or whatever. Okay, so I have a ring now. I have Flusterstorm, so I'm not in a hurry really to resolve this ring. I think it's best to just attack here and then pass the ring, being 100% safe against the cascade spells. If they have, of course, they need like Boseiju or Flame of Feiner or something to deal with the Chalice. They didn't do that. So now I can go just like play the One Ring and still hold the Flusterstorm. Okay, so here it is. They bounce my Ragavan. I play the One Ring, start drawing cards, hold the Flusterstorm for their turn. Opponent tries to deal with Chalice with a Tidebinder. Yeah. That's partially why Tidebinder is so good in Rhinos. It has so many uses. But I also had the Flusterstorm here. So I countered the Flusterstorm and I have very close to lethal next turn. Only with Slogurk, Ragavan in hand. So opponent concedes. That is the match. Let's check out match 2. Okay, so this is pretty good hand. Turn 1 Halfling into turn 2 Wrenn and Six or Slogurk, whatever. This means like turn 3 Seismic Assault can already be very effective. I didn't draw... I think best at this point is to go for the Wrenn and Six. Wrenn and Six here guarantees me a land each turn, and the Slogurk on turn 2 was maybe a bit more aggressive, but I opted for Wrenn anyway. Maybe Slogurk was a better play. Okay, so here I decide to go for Slogurk. Slogurk can be pretty aggressive. Maybe it was better to just shock here, hold the Boseiju, but I didn't expect them to go for a Titan this turn since they didn't have Amulet. Okay, so now I can go... yeah. There's a bunch of damage here. As you can see, it is lethal damage. I attack for 11 with Slogurk. Return 3 lands to my hand and finish my opponent. Really cool. So this is like a really show off for Slogurk. As I was saying, yeah, Slogurk can be really good against non-interactive decks, and if I was even able to play Slogurk on turn 2, but then I won't be, if I didn't play Wrenn on that turn, I wouldn't be able to go for a Seismic Assault on a curve. So that's the reason why I decided to go for the Wrenn and Six first, and also Wrenn and Six first enables me to have a lot more lands in my hand for Assault, and it's a guaranteed turn 4 kill, again, especially against non-interactive deck, but also against a lot others. So there it is. Let's check out game 2. Okay, so against Rhinos, my plan was to, I didn't show the sideboard, but it's very simple. I bring in 2 Flusterstorms, 2 Spell Pierces, 2 Chalice of the Voids, and yeah, that's a very easy game plan. And for the Amulet matchup, I also, similarly to the Rhino matchup, I remove all 4 Lightning Bolts. I trim 1 Inti, and in the Rhino matchup, actually I did show it, I think. I trimmed 1 Magmatic Insight. Here against, because of this guy, Grazer, I trim 2 Ragavans, because I'm trimming Bolt, so I don't have Bolt post board, so this means if they have Grazer, my Ragavan is completely blocked by it. Okay, I have, here you can see how valuable my Halfling was. It enabled me to go for a turn 2 Moon against Amulet Titan deck, which was crucial for me to win this game. And here I got assembled Seismic Assault plus Life from the Loam and I also got some halflings on the field attacking Wrenn and Six, and my opponent concedes. That's very quick matches against Amulet Titan. Okay, so let's check out match 3. Okay, so in the match 3, playing first, I think this is like a really good hand, and often in a situation like this you may be confused. Do I play Ragavan or Delighted Halfling? I think you mostly play Ragavan if you're against an unknown opponent. If I'm playing against a Murktide, on the play, you could, if you have like if you have a ring in your hand and the Wrenn and Six, you could consider going for the halfling first. That would mean you will be able to play Wrenn and Six and uncounterable on turn 2, then a ring on turn 3. But yeah, the Ragavan is really effective against a lot of decks, and I would prioritize mostly playing Ragavan as your 1-drop on turn 1. Okay, I wanted to use my Wrenn and Six to return Forgotten Cave. That is why I dashed Ragavan into the Teferi and didn't ping it with Wrenn and Six. So this way I got my Wrenn up to 7. And I have Magmatic Insight in my graveyard, and I have a bunch of lands in my hand and another Wrenn and Six. So yeah, it's pretty sweet. I'm actually hoping for a Lightning Bolt to finish my opponent off. And I got 1 ring on the field, so I'll be drawing a bunch of cards. I also have Delighted Halfling, and I'm in really good situation this game. My opponent is playing Jeskai Ring List that I trophied with recently. It was the last video on my channel. Okay, so I fetched here, and now I have multiple options. I can just cycle caves, but I decide to go for the Magmatic Insight, just grow the Slogurk and draw more cards. Now I find the Lightning Bolt, but decide to go for one more Insight this turn, and next turn I can probably just finish my opponent on multiple ways, either by with Lightning Bolt, with Wrenn ulti, or with just attacking. Okay, so this is always the risk that you take when you play your opponent's cards with the Ragavan. So it was my opponent's 1 ring, so they were able to bounce it and play it themselves. Okay, so here it is, the life from the Loam. This means I can play 3 bolts on my opponent's turn, and I have protection from the ring. This was very interesting, since I'm on 9 life. Opponent also has the 1 ring and 9 cards in their hand. Also, cool thing when you have the Wrenn ulti is each time you cast a card from the graveyard and discard the land, you trigger your Inti and you also trigger your Slogurk. Okay, so I was able to play triple bolt and turn, put my opponent on 4 life. And remember, my opponent was not able to do anything on their turn because I had the 1 ring protection. Okay, so here it is. On my turn, they go for triple bolt, and I wait for the 3rd bolt. And even if they have something else like a Snapcaster or whatever, I trigger my Slogurk, I return 3 lands to my hand, and then I play 2 more bolts from my graveyard by discarding cards. So even if they have a Snapcaster into another bolt right now, I still have another Slogurk ability to respond another time. So that's it. Opponent is that's the game for me. So let's check out the game 2. I had a lethal in response to their lethal. That's pretty cool. Okay, so pretty cool game, and let's check the sideboard for this one. As you can see, for this one I have the lowest sideboard. Just I trimmed just a couple of bolts and one Inti. So only thing I wanted in this matchup are actually endurance, and that's only because I knew exactly what my opponent was playing, because they were playing my list, and yeah, I knew that they're playing 3 Snapcasters and 3 Murktides, so that's the reason why I brought in 3 endurances from the sideboard. Okay, so I would say pretty good hand here. I can just go for the Wrenn and Six. They counter it, but I don't really care that much about it, because I have 2 rings which I'm hoping to resolve next turn, and I also have life from the loam to get my lands back. Okay, so I have some options here. I decide to go for a triple red because of my Seismic Assault. And I go for the 1 ring and resolve it. This is like really important. I wait until my opponent's turn to tap the ring because of the Tidebinder. And yeah, my opponent finds the ring too. And we both don't have a way to destroy the ring. They can bounce it, but I don't think they can exile it. So we are just playing as let's say a fair game with 1 rings, both doing a maximum value with it. But I played it first, so in most situations I am at least in a little advantage because of it. Okay, so here I play Inti plus a Halfling after the Ragavan dash, but my opponent finds Minamo. Minamo is pretty good with 1 ring. You get to do a bunch of these abilities, but I have the Boseiju and I decide to cycle it immediately, destroy the Minamo. Okay, so drawing 4 cards with the ring and getting the Seismic Assault was the thing I needed right now. My opponent only has a 1 mana untapped, so there's not much they can do about the Assault. So yeah, Inti is also pretty good card with the ring. You often get to a situation like this when you have 8 cards in hand, so you have to discard 1 end of turn, and you exile 1 with Inti. And in this situation I exiled Endurance, which was potentially crucial. And whenever I want, I have the 1 ring ability to dredge the life from the loam to my hand back from the graveyard. This is also crucial, potentially crucial, not necessarily. But here my opponent could have something like Tidebinder and okay, so they go in response, they go for the Snapcaster, targeting Consider, but I have Endurance, drawing card with ring, getting life from the loam, dredging life from the loam back to my hand, and then I can pitch cast the Endurance that I have exiled with Inti. These are the cards I have exiled with Inti, so I can pitch card the Endurance, exile their target from the graveyard and secure the win. So that is it. That is a win in match 3. So let's check out the match 4. All very clean, easy wins so far in this league, but the last 2 matches were like really tricky, really hard to play. Okay, so keeping a 6-lander, it's only actually like doable if you're playing Assault Loam, and definitely having 2 Forgotten Caves helps. Drawing into life from the loam is great news. Okay, so unfortunately my opponent has a Orcish Bowmaster here to kill my Ragavan. So that's a second Ragavan gone. And yeah. I play my Inti, pass the turn. Opponent was obviously playing Domain Zoo. And here it was a bit weird, definitely, since they just played the Leyline Binding, pass the turn. It was a bit risky to play the ring here. Maybe I should have waited for a turn. Yeah, probably it would be better if I just waited for a turn, went for a Life from the Loam here, returned to caves, but I had like 2 caves here and the Catriot Realm. This means I can cycle all 3 of these and then dredge the Life from the Loam back. That's like almost like having the One Ring. A bit more mana intensive, but does a huge card advantage in the long term. So I was trying to find something useful, but I got a bunch of lands, which turned out to be a good thing after I top decked the Seismic Assault. So yeah, it was. I was hoping for my opponent to not have the Stubborn Denial next turn. If I can go like Life from the Loam and resolve the Seismic Assault, this game is basically over. But opponent had another Stubborn Denial and Tidebinder, so that was it. So I had to go to the game 2. Yeah, it would be probably wiser if I waited another turn on the One Ring, but opponent had that a second stub there, and that get them the game. Okay, so also opponent had Tidebinder in their hand, so it's questionable if One Ring would do much. They would probably counter the One Ring with the Tidebinder, which would also be the problem. Okay, so here in the second game, I didn't have anything spectacular again. I had Inti, and Inti getting me the Life from the Loam here was like really good. I was able to grow my Inti and hold Lightning Bolt for their turn. Opponent just went for the Binding, no creatures, and I was able to safely resolve the One Ring. And now my opponent has the Kavu. But now I already have a bunch of stuff to do. I play the Ragavan, play the Slogurk, hold Fetch plus Bolt. This way I can jump at Kavu and finish him off. Opponent goes for Slogurk, and I decide to do Boseiju to get my Inti back. But yeah, again, maybe that I did get 2 lands back with Slogurk, but maybe, which later enabled me to do lethal on the same turn. But yeah, maybe they get to play the Scion and give Kavu a trample, so I'm not sure if that was the right decision. Okay, so here I played my ring. I was able to attack with my creatures, and yeah, a pretty good position for me. I also drew into the Seismic Assault, so whatever my opponent does here, I'll probably have lethal. Also, I drew into the second Seismic. I didn't play a Seismic Assault earlier. I was playing against. I was trying to play around Stubborn Denial, try to bait them into stabbing something else. And yeah, so here I played my Seismic Assault. I exiled with Inti. Opponent uses the Stubborn Denial, and then I finish them off with a Bolt. So that is the game. And let's check out the game 3. Okay, so let's also check out the sideboarding plan for the zoo matchup. Okay, I'm trimming 2 Ragavans. That's something I always do against the Bowmaster's deck. I'm not sure how much they're playing, but if I would have to guess, I would say probably like 3. That's the most common. I saw some lists playing just 1, but yeah, most of them playing 3. So you saw that situation. Opponent had Wild Nacatl and Ragavan on the field. Since I play a bunch of zoo, I know that Wild Nacatl can do a lot of damage, and that's the reason why I decided to bolt the Nacatl and not Ragavan. Also, I was planning to play Inti on my turn, which means opponent has to have removal for Inti if they don't want to trade with Ragavan, and I can't trade with Wild Nacatl, so I decided to bolt Wild Nacatl, leave the Ragavan, and drawing into Wrenn and Six was one of the advantages of a play like that, so I was able to bolt the Nacatl, then ping the Ragavan, and it worked out pretty nicely. For me in this game, I would say that was a crucial part of this game. Now my opponent finished off my Wrenn, played the Brawler, and now I resolved the Blood Moon. Opponent only has Forest, and it's almost impossible for them right now to get rid of the Moon. Also resolving the One Ring next turn gets me more time to stabilize. And there are not much spells they can play under the moon. Okay, so I have a Forgotten Cave here, which I can cycle. I drew all 3 of them, which is pretty cool. This means I get to draw 3, and I also exile 3 with Inti. I have another 2 Intis actually, which I can play, so I gladly trade here with Kavu. Opponent plays Tribal Flames, but it's only 2 damage. And yeah, so I find a Seismic Assault. And yeah, I have a bunch of damage here. Opponent plays Giganta. And yeah, so I have Life from the Loam in the graveyard. I have the One Ring. This is a lot of damage. So I play the One Ring first, which is not absolutely necessary. I didn't even count the damage before I started this, but yeah, I had enough of it. I played Inti because I can exile additional lightning bolts potentially with it, and yeah, with every Seismic Assault trigger I exile a card. Okay, so that's it. That was the last game against Domain Zoo and the win. That Wrenn and Six top deck and decision to bolt Wild Nacatl instead of Ragavan was crucial. Even if I didn't top deck the Wrenn and Six, I would have Inti to potentially block the Ragavan. So even if I didn't count on maybe potentially drawing a good card from the top, I think it was still the better play. Okay, so unfortunately my opponent played the Gemstone Caverns. They actually played the Gemstone Caverns in both of their games, so it was pretty hard to deal with this in the trophy match. Okay, so turn 2 4/4 automaton with the Gemstone Caverns. Yeah, that's like pretty sick. Also Ozolite on the field. And yeah, I was hoping that I'll be able to bolt the automaton on my turn 3, but that didn't happen. And also to make their hand even sicker, they got Agatha Soul Cauldron with Ballista in the graveyard. This means 8/8 Ballista with Ward 2 on their turn 3, and I would say this is pretty much unbeatable. I had amazing hand. There's Wrenn and Six, Inti with Forgotten Cave. I got Ragavan, I got Bolt, I got the One Ring. I got basically everything, but I still wasn't able to do anything about the extremely sick hand my opponent had there. So that was it, and yeah, a pretty tough start for a trophy game, a trophy match, but yeah, I was able to get out of it, and the games were pretty amazing. Okay, so again, opponent starts with Gemstone Caverns. Yeah, this is very, very hard to play against. Like, this is turn 1 Urza Saga. Yeah, that's definitely hard to play against and beat. Okay, so here I opted to go for Bolt Ballista and play Inti. Okay, so here I can play the Wrenn and Six. Now I can Boseiju the Saga, force them to make construct, then ping the construct with Wrenn and Six. I felt like that is the best I can do. And I also exiled the Forgotten Cave with Inti ability, so I was able to play another land from exile. And I pinged their construct token, and I felt like this is the best I can do in a situation like this. And yeah, here opponent plays the Ravager plus a Buzz, but now I am in a good situation. I can using the Boseiju to trigger Inti. I think that's like really cool, a really powerful play, and I resolved the Wandering here, so I didn't care that much if my Wrenn dies. I also had another Inti in hand, so I didn't care much about that too. Okay, opponent plays the Ozolith and Agatha Soul Cauldron. Agatha Soul Cauldron can be hard against the Wrenn and Six, but now I had I had one ring on the field, so that makes it easier for me a lot. And now I have Seismic Assault and Inti on the field. I can't really explain just how powerful that really is. And even I make Seismic Assault makes Ozolith useless. If you have like stuff like Life from the Loam or Wrenn and Six or One Ring on the field, and I had everything. So even if they try to remove the counters, I can just kill the target. And here I went for the attack. 5 damage here. And I have life from the Loam, which means I can probably just finish my opponent off. Also I exiled the Lightning Bolt with Inti ability. And I finished them off with the Lightning Bolt and the lands with the Seismic Assault. So that is the game. Let's check out last game of this league, which I think was pretty cool. Okay, so to make it harder, in the trophy match I actually mulliganed to 5. I was playing second too, so it is definitely hard mode, the hardest that it gets. And also like using the force is like equivalent of mulliganing to 4, but obviously force is like a very strong card, and luckily I was able to handicap my opponent same way I was handicapped, so they were screwed for 2 turns, which was exactly what I needed to stabilize. I didn't play the cave on turn 2, I was hoping to get another land or something like Wrenn and Loam, then cycle the cave, but unfortunately that meant I wasn't able to play Slogurk on turn 3, which really slowed me down. If I did do that, I would already be attacking with Slogurk, and Slogurk can do a lot of damage, especially when you resolve the One Ring. But yeah, going for the Ragavan dash there was crucial, since I didn't draw 4th land, and yeah, I really wanted to resolve the One Ring as soon as possible. Now my opponent got their lands, and they had Automaton and Agatha Soul Cauldron and Hangerback with 2 welding jars on the field. this is hard to deal with for a deck that only plays damage-based removal. So Automaton has Ward 2 and it is a 7/7, so it is basically unkillable for me except for with the Force of Vigor. But they have 2 Welding Jars, which, as I already said, makes it almost impossible. Okay, so here it is. I was able to resolve the ring and start attacking with a Slogurk. I decide to cycle here and deal maximum damage with Slogurk. So attacking with 6. So this means potentially with enough lands or life from the Loam, I have very close to lethal next turn. Okay, and I got another bolt, and all I needed was another land. Okay, so I shocked in, and that way I was able to play double bolt and also return. Okay, so let's just pause a bit here. So my opponent has Agatha Soul Cauldron. If I use my Slogurk ability, I target 3 lands in graveyard, they remove 1, I don't have lethal. So that is the deal. I didn't have lethal right now, unless my opponent taps Agatha end of turn, but they didn't do it, they were smart. So they just went for a Hangerback ability and didn't use their Agatha. And yeah, so this is the reason why I changed my game plan and decide to go for a Force of Vigor. Target both of their creatures. Only thing I wanted is like prevent them from attacking. The danger here was them drawing into them not actually using the Welding Jar and not using the Welding Jar and then putting counters on Ozolith and then top decking a land to attack with Nexus. But that would mean that they think I have absolutely 0 cards in my hand with the Seismic Assault. This way they decided to use the natural states to kill my Seismic Assault. Yeah, this was actually a misplay by my part. I should have played the One Ring last turn, and I will be absolutely safe from anything they can do, and I will get another turn to safely draw into more lands and get the lethal. So this was actually a misplay, but after I misplayed, I did I think the best I could to try to fix it. And yeah, so yeah, after I untap, it was easy game, so I just draw into I needed 1 more land to finish my opponent, and use the Slogurk ability to return 3 lands. I don't care if they remove 1 because I have the double bolt, and that's it. That's the trophy. 2 more. I have even more damage than I need, and that is the game and the match and the trophy for this Slogurk, very cool Slogurk Assault Loam list. And yeah, so I think this deck feels very powerful, not just this deck, but yeah, so let me just explain something. Here is the core of this deck. Let me remove this, and remove this. So when you remove these 8 cards, this is the core deck. And I would say this core deck is very, very powerful. So I use this core deck to build a Jund list. So basically what I did is like just add 4 Bowmasters, 3 Sheldreds and 1 Molten Collapse, and here you go, you have a very well working Jund Assault Loam list. You can do this like with anything else, and I guarantee this deck will be good. You can add like Territorial Kavu and the Tribal Flames, and you will have a Zoo Assault Loam, and it will be good. I can guarantee that this core is very strong, and it took me some time to get to this core and understanding how this archetype should be built, and this is it. So this is the core. You add whatever you think it would be good in the meta game, and I believed that Slogurk could be very good, and I think I was right. I think Slogurk is very good at the moment, especially since the deck now plays the Wandering and can get a whole bunch of lands to both fuel Slogurk and the Seismic Assault. So I think it's a good addition. Other threats in this deck are very soft, like Ragavan is so easy to kill, Inti too, and the Halfling is not really a threat, it's just enabler to get your stuff done faster, let's say, and the uncounterable clause is very important for the inclusion of Halfling. I played against a lot of counterspells deck, and having the Wandering, Wrenn and Six, Inti, Ragavan, Slogurk, uncounterable, it's a big deal. Magmatic Insight, I think it's a cool one-off to finish things off, and that's it. So I think Jund version is also very powerful, but I think these 4 cards are very important right now, and Orcish Bowmasters and Sheldred kind of require specific meta for them to really shine, and that version can definitely be better in the specific meta games where people are playing mid-range, trying to gain value, draw cards, yeah, obviously. So that's it. I think also another thing people may be skeptic of is having both a Blood Moon and a Boseijus, but I guarantee that this works perfectly fine. When you have the Blood Moon on turn 2, you just won't use your Boseiju. And sometimes you won't have the you won't draw into Blood Moon, and you will have the Wrenn and Six plus Boseiju against the Tron, and that will win you the game even easier than the Blood Moon or whatever. So you just have to play it smart, and it won't be a big deal, guaranteed. Okay, so that's it. I'm very happy with this Temur sideboard. So 4 of these 1-mana counters, Blood Moons, Force of Vigor, Endurance, 2 Chalice of the Voids. I feel like all of these are like premium sideboard cards, very powerful sideboard cards that do the job well. And yeah, that's the thing I like the most about Temur, is this like really nice sideboard. It feels like perfect sideboard into anything. I think you can win against anything with these cards in the sideboard, and this main that has a potential of comboing off in some games with Inti, Slogurk and the Seismic Assault, doing a huge amount of either damage or card advantage. Okay, so that's it. Hope you enjoyed the video. Friendly reminder to click like, click subscribe, comment in the video. I want to hear about your experience in the paper online with this list. I think it's very well positioned. It's the Wandering deck, and I think the Wandering decks are very good at the moment, and Wandering is still not omnipresent in the metagame because the Omnath deck has fallen off. I don't even see the coffers that much. Tron is in the metagame. It's one of the main Wandering decks, but lately I've been working on some Wandering decks because I think this card is not as represented in metagame as it should be, because it's definitely a strong card, and I think it has potential to get banned. And if it's going to get banned, I would like to get it banned as soon as possible. So yeah, I will be brewing with the Wandering and trying to make some interesting decks with it, and not just the OP unbearable decks to play against. Okay, so that is it. Again, thank you for watching, and goodbye.